Begin today here at 5 with the breaking news. Luigi Mangione officially charged and now indicted for the murder of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson.
Mangione facing 11 counts, including murder in the first degree and murder as a crime of terrorism. Allie Bauman's been covering the case, and she is live at the Manhattan DA's office right now. Allie.
Well, Maurice and Christine, the Manhattan DA alleges that Luigi Mangione intended to sow terror, which is why the charges against him have now been elevated to first-degree murder. Nearly 2 weeks after the murder of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson and 8 days after Luigi Mangione was arrested in an Altoona, Pennsylvania McDonald's, the 26-year-old suspect now charged in New York with 1 count of first-degree murder, 2 counts of second-degree murder, 7 counts of criminal possession of a weapon, and 1 count of criminal possession of a forged instrument. Those weapons charges are for the 3D printed ghost gun, which investigators say Mangione had with him at his arrest and matched the shell casings from the crime scene. Today's indictment also revealing the words deny and depose were written on 2 of the casings, and the word delay was written on a bullet found at the scene. Those 3 words, a nod to the 3 Ds of insurance, a phrase used by critics of the industry. If found guilty of the top charge against him, Mangione faces life in prison without parole.
This was a frightening, well-planned, targeted murder that was intended to cause shock and attention and intimidation. It occurred in one of the most bustling parts of our city, threatening the safety of local residents and tourists alike, commuters and business people just starting out on their day.
Well, Mangione could be extradited back to New York as early as this week. He has a hearing in Pennsylvania where he's being held on Thursday morning. And the Manhattan DA says that there are indications he may waive that extradition, which means he could be back in the city in a matter of hours. If he contests the extradition again, well, now that there's an indictment, Governor Hochul would be able to sign a special warrant, but that would delay the process up to potentially weeks. We're live in Lower Manhattan. Allie Bauman, CBS News, New York.
Okay, Allie, thank you. And Allie will be traveling back out to Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania for the extradition hearing for Luigi Mangione. Look for her live reporting beginning tomorrow night at 5 right here on CBS New York.
Joining us now to dig a bit deeper on the charges against Mangione is Fordham law professor Cheryl Bader. Welcome, Professor. DA Bragg was questioned about the terrorism element associated with the murder charges in this case. Is that unique, and is it harder to prove?
Yes, it's unusual. In New York, murder in the second degree is your prototypical intent to kill murder. Here, they're also charging the first degree murder, which delineates specific categories, including terrorism, a murder for hire, torture, or a law enforcement officer being killed. So here, they're going for this extra element of terrorism, and that's going to require the prosecution to prove that there was an intent to coerce or intimidate the public or a government entity. And so that is, I think, a much greater lift for the prosecution, but I think they really wanted to show that this was an act of domestic terrorism.
It might speak to their confidence level, too, Professor. I'm wondering what you think here, what you make of the evidence, fingerprints, DNA, the manifesto, to people who are watching who might think, hey, this is a slam dunk of a case. They have all this stuff against this guy. You would say what?
Right. So it does seem like for the intent to kill, they have a lot of evidence to show that he was the perpetrator, tying him to the scene, showing that he had motives. So the motive opportunity there, I think that there is quite a bit of evidence. Of course, they're gathering this quickly. They have to make sure that they dot their I's and cross their T's so that everything actually comes into evidence in the courtroom. But again, this additional charge or element to the charge is going to, require them to show this intent to coerce others and not just that it was a personal vendetta.
Okay, to be continued. Professor Cheryl Bader from Fordham Law, thanks so much.
On our website, you can find a timeline of the suspect's moments and also the full indictment of charges. It's all at cbsnewyork.com.